Hello, hello. Welcome to another Elvis the Ultimate Fan channel live stream. I hope everybody is well. We've got the usual This Day in Elvis history coming up, Elvis Photo and Song of the Week, the poll result. Don't forget you can call me free on Facebook Messenger and Instagram. And a few little other things as well. Hello, Elvis lass. Marie's the name. Edwidge, Ludane, all the usual suspects. Jill Brett. Hey. Oh, it's quite a tired Steve today. I don't know what it is, whether the dark mornings are catching up with me. As you can see, I'm on the coffee. And thank you to anybody that's bought me coffee in the past. You can do that by using the link below, as I always say. Before we go any further, I just wanted to just mention that a good friend of the channel and the people who are viewers of the channel, Karen Tranter, unfortunately, I heard yesterday, was rushed into hospital and she's having emergency surgery. So for anybody who knows Karen and is obviously familiar with Karen from this channel and through other Elvis links, if you could keep her in your thoughts and prayers, and if anybody is watching this who is linked family-wise or friend-wise or anything with Karen, if they can just say that we're pass on the message that we're all thinking of her, and a speedy recovery for Karen. And also on Sunday we were talking about the film what was the film? Wild in the Country, wasn't it? I almost forgot the order then. And there was a critic called Bosley Crowther, and he was saying how when he watched Wild in the Country, he thought that Elvis's singing hurt his ears, and also Elvis was flabby and waxy. Well, let's just have a look at old Boss, will we? Let's see what you think. There's Bosley Crowther. He's certainly no Elvis anyway, that's for sure. But I just thought I'd pick that out and show you Bosley Crowther. Right, let's jump in to Blue Hawaii, the next film on the list. And it starred Elvis Presley as obviously Chad Gates, Joan Blackman as Miley Duval, Angela Lansbury as his mother, Sarah Lee Gates, Roland Winters as Fred Gates, and Jenny Maxwell as Ellie Corbett. Now, Ellie, the character of Ellie Corbett was a bit of a wild child, and she took a fancy to Chad, quite understandably. Dan says, "What a stud." I think he's talking about Bosley, is he? Let me just, before we go any further, just tell you about Jenny Maxwell. Unfortunately, Jenny had a very, very sad end. In the afternoon of June 10th, 1981, shortly after her separation from her second husband, Irvin Roeder, Maxwell and Roeder were shot and killed in the lobby of her Beverly Hills condo during what was reported at the time as being a botched robbery. She was 39 years of age. So that's just a little side story to the story of Blue Hawaii. Blue Hawaii is a 1961 musical romantic comedy movie directed by Norman Taurog. I'm sorry, I'm getting my teeth mixed up today. Norman Taurog. The screenplay by Hal Cantor was nominated by the Writers Guild of America in 1962 in the category of Best Written American Musical. The movie opened at number 2 in the box office receipts for that week, and despite mixed reviews from critics again, probably Bosley, finished as the 10th top grossing film of 1961 and 14th for 1962 on the Variety National Box Office Survey, earning $5 million. The film won a 4th place prize Laurel Award in the category of Top Musical of 1961. Blue Hawaii. Also, you might not know this, but the song Blue Hawaii is a popular song written by Leo Robin and Ralph Rainger for the 1937 Paramount Pictures film Waikiki Wedding, starring Bing Crosby and Shirley Ross. Crosby recorded a version with backing by, who was it? Lanny McIntyre and his Hawaiians, which was released in 1937 as the B-side of Sweet Lilani. This reached the number 5 spot in the charts of the day during a 13-week stay. So just for anybody that thinks that, Blue Hawaii was written for the movie Elvis starred in Blue Hawaii, it wasn't. Right, so as I said, Elvis was Chad Gates, Joan Blackman, Miley Duval, Angela Lansbury as Sarah Lee Gates, Roland Winters as Fred Gates, and Jenny Maxwell as Ellie Corbett. Now, this is the plot. Having been released from the army, Chad Gates is eager to return to Hawaii with his surfboard, his beach friends, and his girlfriend Miley Duval, Joan Blackman. His mother, who's played by Angela Lansbury, wants him to follow in his father's footsteps and take over management at the Great Southern Hawaii Fruit Company, the family business, but Chad is reluctant and goes to work as a tour guide at his girlfriend's agency. His highly scatterbrained boss, Mr. Chapman, is his boss. His first clients Chad has are attractive school teacher Abigail Prentice and 4 teenage girls in her charge. One girl, Ellie, yes, Jenny Maxwell, is bratty, self-centered, and does not get along with the other 3 in her group, but still becomes smitten with Chad. That's hard to believe, isn't it? One night, Ellie attempts to seduce Chad, but he refuses her advances. Ellie despondently flees in a jeep with the intent to commit suicide. Before Ellie can drown herself, Chad saves her and administers an overdue spanking. Meanwhile, Abigail has found romance with Jack Kellman, a long-time business partner in Chad's father's pineapple company. With Jack's help, Chad and his father resolve their differences about Chad's future. As Chad and Miley form their own tourism business, Gates of Hawaii, and begin arrangements to provide tourist services for his father's large network of fruit salesmen in the continental United States and Canada. The movie ends with Chad and Miley lavish outdoor Hawaiian wedding ceremony. Of course, that's when he sings the Hawaiian wedding song. Blue Hawaii was the first of 3 Elvis movies to be shot in Hawaii, followed by Girls, Girls, Girls in 1962 and Paradise Hawaiian Style in 1965. Much of the film was shot on location at the Coco Palms Resort at the east coast of Kauai. The resort was abandoned after Hurricane Iniki in 1992, and I actually did a live stream a few months ago showing the condition of the Coco Palms Resort now inside. So if you want to check that out, it's up for sale, believe it or not. Right now, I obviously did a poll, and what it was the best song that you thought for Blue Hawaii, and I asked you to vote on it, and it was difficult for me to shortlist because there's 14 songs on the soundtrack, plus one that was dropped as well, Stepping Out of Line, and what I really want to ask is, do you think that the success, the runaway success of Blue Hawaii ruined Elvis's chances of being a serious actor? Because after Blue Hawaii, really there wasn't any more serious films like King Creole, Flaming Star, Wild in the Country until Charo, and Charo was his last movie anyway. He only sung the title track over the titles, the opening titles, and I'd be interested to hear if you want to give me a call. Personally, my opinion is yes, it did. As much as we like Blue Hawaii, and it's a great movie, great songs, it unfortunately ended any attempt that Elvis was going to have of becoming a serious actor. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Steve. All right.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
What do you think?
Cool. Well, song-wise, it's a hard one. 14 tracks.
Yeah.
14 good tracks, yeah. Probably for me, Rockahula Baby.
Oh, right. That's an unusual choice.
Yeah. I think that's just a great film track, great dance segment.
High energy.
Yeah. Can't Help Falling in Love, of course, would be probably tying or a close second, but the rest of the album is good as well. Slicing Sand is a good one as well. I like them kind of ones, but it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
And what do you think about? Did it finally put paid to him being a serious actor?
Yeah, definitely. The success of the film obviously put him on that path then to make these type of films. Obviously, with the soundtrack albums as well. It's a money spinner, wasn't it? For the Colonel, wasn't it? Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a shame because I did like the Flaming Star and Wild in the Country were great films and showed Elvis's acting ability as well. And he came back to that. Well, it'd been good if he'd come back to Blue Hawaii and then made. I know we had like Keith Galahad, which again was not a good film, but. Then after that, the World's Fair, Girls, Fun in Acapulco, and all them. It seemed to be on that same trend, then, didn't it?
Yeah, I think Parker and Hal Wallace and all the other producers said to Elvis, "Look, when you look at how much money and how many albums Blue Hawaii sold, and then how much money Flaming Star and Wild in the Country made." I mean, Elvis could have, sort of argued and said, well, the reason being is because there were so few songs in Flaming Star and Wild in the Country.
Yeah.
But of course there had to be. He couldn't do 14 songs in Flaming Star and he couldn't do 14 songs in Wild in the Country. That's for sure.
Yeah, of course not. And I think, you look at it, the films, all Elvis films were a success. The soundtrack albums were always a success. And even off that, they always released singles off the album as well, which, went to number ones,
Yeah.
So they had, a good run of films, albums, and singles, didn't they, from the whole lot of the 60s.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was a lucrative. It was very lucrative between 1960 and 1968. It was lucrative, all right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was. I personally think, well, you probably get onto it yourself later on, but I would say come 1964 into 65, then you can say the films then should have stopped.
Yeah.
I know he did some good films at the end, like Charo and The Trouble Girls and Change of Habit were great films, I think, again, but just that mid-section, I think.
Yeah, there was a period from sort of after Viva Las Vegas until, as you say, about 1968, when it was just
it was
fairly rough.
68, yeah.
I mean, you can still watch them because just the fact that it's Elvis up on the screen is good enough.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. And it's quite bizarre as well because you got Viva Las Vegas, and then you got Roused About, and Roused About the album went straight to number one, didn't it? It's amazing.
Yeah.
And again, a great film. That one, probably think after that one, I would say. It did get on a bit of a slopey line for him, but it's a shame. But I still enjoy them all anyway.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else could have carried those films off. When you look at some of the films like Hear 'Em, Scare 'Em, and Easy Come, Easy Go, if Elvis hadn't have been in them, if it had been somebody else, they probably wouldn't even have been released.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. I think Elvis, whatever Elvis did in the films, he did his best.
Yeah.
And I think, all the scenes were, he never looked out of place, did he?
No,
I don't think so.
no,
I don't think he did anyway.
no.
To a general Elvis fan, I think you would say, yeah, he did his best for what he had to go with. If he'd have got a little bit more, he would have certainly progressed and done a lot better.
Yeah.
But it's a shame. But,
but it gives us plenty of food for thought and plenty of things to discuss anyway.
Oh, he does, Steve.
All right.
Definitely.
Okay, Mark.
All right, mate.
All the best.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Oh, by the way, I hope you like my background. I just had to move into the living room for the next few weeks. Christmas tree behind and decorations and so forth for the time of year that is. And some people were asking there a few weeks ago, where's your Christmas tree? Well, there it is. Yeah, so I did have quite a difficult choice trying to find. You see, you can only use 5 songs or 5 options in the poll. So, and then what I said was, if your choice isn't shown in the poll, you can always leave a comment below. Hi, Maxine.
Hey, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. What do you think of my backdrop?
I love it.
I bet you can't wait to go.
I know, but it also depends on how COVID goes. This new variant.
Yeah. We're nearly living sort of week to week, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about it.
Me neither.
So, what do you think of Blue Hawaii?
It's a brilliant film. It's funny, cheesy, but
nice scenery as well.
Oh, the scenery is beautiful.
There's a great chemistry between the lady on the screen now, Joan Blackman, and Elvis.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Same as it was in Kid Galahad as well.
Oh, yeah. You could just see it right off the bat.
And what do you think about, for instance, did it put paid to him, being a serious actor once and for all?
I think it did, and it didn't in some ways.
Oh, this is interesting. What do you mean by it did and it didn't?
I know I've got myself in it now.
No. Take your time.
I think it did ruin his career, like off as being a serious actor. But then again, I think it made people sort of watch his films a bit more and buy his music more, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it got him out there a bit more, but it definitely didn't help after the movie.
Yeah, I mean, Elvis's Back did not sell as well as Blue Hawaii.
No, it didn't.
Which is quite odd, really, when you think that he'd been away for 2 years, he'd been in the army, and yet his first album back, which is an absolutely fantastic album, it has to be in my top 5 of favorite Elvis albums of all time, and yet it's outsold by Blue Hawaii.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, maybe it appealed to the Elvis fans, but maybe it also appealed to the more casual sort of fan as well. Just like the nice sort of romantic sort of tunes and then the photography in the movie and things like that. So it got twice as many. It had twice as much appeal than Elvis's Back, where it was just the really, really hardened fans that were maybe buying Elvis's Back.
Yeah.
So you think in some ways it helped, but in other ways it damaged. It was like a bittersweet pill.
Yeah, that's how I'd put it.
I mean, don't forget, if we didn't have Blue Hawaii, we wouldn't have had obviously Kid Galahad, which is another good movie, I believe.
I love Kid Galahad.
Viva Las Vegas. Follow That Dream. Follow That Dream. I was watching scenes from Follow That Dream the other day, and I just the bit where he goes into the bank and they think they think he's holding it up and everything like that. He plays that scene absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, there never will be another Elvis, that's for sure. And the way he carries it off that scene is hilarious. It's hilarious. So,
I love that movie.
Yeah. Well, it's next, isn't it? I think it came after Blue Hawaii. I think Follow That Dream did.
I think it did,
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Anything else you'd like to say?
Just that I hope you're going to have a very, very good Christmas.
Oh, that's very kind. Well, I mean, there's a few more shows between now and Christmas, but that's very nice of you. It's starting to feel Christmassy now, actually, isn't it? Especially with that backdrop behind me.
Oh, it's beautiful. I can just imagine Elvis sitting in the armchair, though.
Yeah, and twiddling on a guitar or just talking with the guys and his laugh and everything. It would just be great. Watching the television as well. Great.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Although they didn't really watch the television in the living room, did they? It was in the den where they watched the television, and then later the jungle room. So okay,
more relaxing for him, wasn't it?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for calling. Thanks for moderating, and I'll talk to you again. All right. Cheers.
All right, bye.
Yeah. Let's read a few comments about the poll first of all. Which is your favourite song recorded for the movie Blue Hawaii? And Duncan Campbell says, my favourite is Ku'ui Po, which was also the first dance at my wedding. Oh, that was nice. In 1992 to the wonderful Susan. Congratulations. The band had to learn it specifically with us giving them a Blue Hawaii CD to learn from it. Yeah, because I would imagine not many wedding bands would know Ku'ui Po. Mrs. EAP, Elaine. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Steve. Such a strong list of songs from a lovely feel-good film. Yes, I agree. And I chose Can't Help Falling in Love, a timeless song which Elvis chose to close his concert as a tribute to the fans. Also recently voted in the UK as the most requested wedding song. I wonder what Bosley Crowther would say to that. Good man, Bosley. Michael Gillen. Hi, Michael. Can't Help Falling in Love is an absolutely beautiful song. It's in a class all by itself. Chris R. Hi, Chris. Oh my God, Steve. Bet it was really hard. Yes, it wasn't easy trying to pick the 5, I can assure you. It's Elvis, so always hard. For one, not on the list. I really love It's Ku'ui Po. Forgot how to spell that, she says. Again, his voice just melts. Yeah, brilliant. A bit like Hawaiian Sunset. The Hawaiian Sunset's another good one. Michael Johnson. I love them all, but Beach Boy Blues is my favourite. Yeah, great rocker that. Paul Black. How about Slicing Sand or Ito Eats? And I actually replied to Paul. Slicing Sand, yes. Ito Eats, no. Jill Brett. Hi, Jill. I've picked Can't Help Falling in Love as No More isn't on there. So, but you could pick that because I said if it wasn't on the list, you could just say No More. So it looks like Jill's picked No More, followed by Can't Help Falling in Love. Jonathan Ortega says, I have to go with Almost Always True. Yeah, that's a good one. Ralph Hamdeed says Rockahula Baby. Good one. Lee Ash. When you've got a song on the list that Elvis himself felt was good enough to close almost every show, then that is the good enough for me. And Brian Roberts says, don't think there will be any surprises on this poll, Steve. Well, funny you should say that, because there might be. Are you saying that you think one song will win by a huge margin? Well, I can reveal it now. Brian, you're absolutely right. Can't Help Falling in Love, the biggest margin we have had in these polls. As you can see, 69%. Beach Boy Blues and Slicing Sand tying at 4%, which I am actually surprised at. I thought Beach Boy Blues would have got more. Hawaiian Wedding Song, 14%. Again, surprising when you think of that great climax and the lovely ending to the song. Blue Hawaii, only 9%. Yeah. So there you go. Can't Help Falling in Love. I never get tired of hearing it, says Ed. Right. Yeah, Aisha says Rockahula Baby. So, as I said, overwhelmingly Can't Help Falling in Love, 69%. Huge margin. And my choice isn't on there. And I will reveal what my choice is later, if that's okay, by telling you the song of the week, because I've picked it as song of the week, you see. Let's do This Day in Elvis History. If I put that down out of the way, I want to do that. All right, don't forget, coming up on Sunday is another round of Fan of the Month quiz. And I also got to say that Arkansas Dave has very kindly donated the prize for December. And we were discussing it earlier on, actually. And he says, do you want to show a picture of it, or do you want to tell everybody what it is? I said, I actually think that sometimes a surprise is nicer than, you don't know what you're playing for, but I'm telling you, it is a nice prize. And when you get the package or whatever it is posted to you, open it up and see what it is. So, we're not going to tell you what it is, but it is a nice prize and very, very kindly donated by Dave. I'm not sure if Dave has been on the chat. I haven't seen his name, but Dave, if you're watching this on playback or anything like that, thanks very much. Very, very kind for donating this prize, this mystery prize. And Maxine says, oh, bless him. Yes, very kind man. Elvis, this day in Elvis history. So the 15th of December, if this is an anniversary for you, or if it's a birthday or anything like that, or if the 15th of December is a special day for you, I'm sure you'd like to know what Elvis was doing on this day in 1955 to start with. Elvis performed at the Helena, Arkansas Catholic Club in a show with Carl Perkins. 500 tickets were sold 2 days in advance. Also, Tom Parker made the first television appearance deal for Elvis on the Jackie Gleason show hosted by the Dorsey brothers. And there is the Western Union telegram. Colonel Tom Parker, confirming Elvis Presley 4 consecutive Saturdays, Jackie Gleason's stage show commencing January 28th, I think that is, 1956. Salary $1,250 per show, option for 2 more to be picked up before second show at $1,500 per show. If option picked up, shows must be played out mutually agreed upon dates within 30 days after last show. Hope to hear from you early part of next week. And that is Steve Yates. Okay, so there you go. So I thought that was quite an interesting Western Union telegram. 1956. Elvis gave his final regular performance on the Louisiana Hayride, a live radio program that was broadcast on KWKH in Shreveport, Louisiana. Elvis made 50 appearances on the show, and at the end of the show, Horace Logan first uttered the now legendary phrase, "Elvis has left the building." So there you go. That on this day in 1956, that was when that phrase was first uttered. Elvis has left the building. And there he is leaving after the performance to get into the car. He arrived at Shreveport at 5 a.m. Heavens. And checked into the Captain Shreve Hotel. He performed at the Louisiana Hayride, Hirsch Memorial Coliseum, Louisiana Fairgrounds, Shreveport. And there he is backstage with a fan. I like Elvis. And I'm pretty sure that there was also I Hate Elvis. And funny, when he was asked at a press conference in Canada in 1957 who was responsible for the I Hate Elvis buttons and badges, he laughed and said, probably the same fella that's responsible for the I Like Elvis badges. And we all know who that was. Backstage, there were milling scores who wanted to slap his back, shake his hand, and remember him. In other words, hey, remember me from all those years ago before you were famous? Then the reporters, the photographers, disc jockeys with their tape recorders, city officials, civic dignitaries, fan club presidents, business associates, all wanted to meet Elvis because by now he really was on the crest of a wave. December 1956 had just been a whirlwind, a hurricane, a rocket ship to superstardom. It was just anybody that hadn't heard of Elvis Presley by December 1956. Yeah. Okay, so that's the Louisiana Hayride on this day in 1956. 1959, Colonel Tom Parker cleverly keeps his client in the news by suggesting that Elvis may re-enlist after the end of his first period of service. I would imagine people were nearly swallowing their Adam's apple when they heard that. Elvis is going to re-enlist, especially Hal Wallace, because he had GI Blues lined up. 1962, yes. We have Return to Sender hit number 1 in the UK. And was the UK Christmas number 1 of 1962. It also reached number 2 on the American Billboard singles chart, but reached number 1 on the rival Cashbox and Music Vendor singles charts. Now this is interesting. Return to Sender also went to number 5 on the R&B charts, and it was the first Christmas number 1 in Ireland, here, okay, because that's where I broadcast from, as the Irish charts had been founded in October 1962. So, a little bit of trivia there. If anybody ever asks you what was the very, very first Christmas number 1 on the Irish charts, it was Elvis Presley, Return to Sender, Where Do You Come From on the B-side. I thought that was rather interesting. I really did. 1965, the movie Hiram Scarum opened in the US. 1966, Elvis gave a present to George Klein, a yellow Cadillac convertible. You would definitely see George coming driving that. Here comes George. We'd know him anywhere. He's got a yellow Cadillac. 1970, Elvis, That's the Way It Is, was released in the UK. 1973, Elvis recording session that was stopped earlier that morning was picked up again and ran from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. The Stack Studio, Memphis, Tennessee. That's December the 15th/16th, Saturday and Sunday. And he recorded Promised Land, Your Love's Been a Long Time Coming, There's a Honky Tonk Angel Who Will Take Me Back In. Then we have 1975. Elvis closed his 2-week Las Vegas engagement, and after expenses, Elvis and the Colonel had to split $180,000. There's a cute one with some sort of lion or something. King of the Jungle, dressed up in an Elvis jumpsuit. That's the rainfall suit, I believe, if my memory serves me right. He looks hot there, doesn't he? And I mean hot as in temperature-wise. I know what ladies would say if... there's Arkansas Dave. Dave, I was talking about you earlier on, donating the prize. Thanks very much. Don't forget to join me on Sunday for all the usuals, plus the Fan of the Month quiz with that prize that Dave has donated. Now, I'm going to tell you my song of the week, if that's okay. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because, oh yeah, coming up as well is my pick of the week. And it's not a cold shower photograph, but it's a little cheeky again. I was cheeky on Sunday by not using Elvis as a pick of the week. It was actually a pick of Tuesday Weld. So just for 1 week, I done it for the guys instead of the girls. So I hope you forgive me. Cheers, by the way, coffee. Yeah, so coming up is my pick of the week. And as I say, it's not a cold shower photograph, unless maybe it is. Maybe it will make you run for the cold shower. That is a cute photograph. I think it's really cute. And the smile on Elvis's face as well. It looks like a lion dressed in a jumpsuit. And just cute. So yeah, Elvis closed a 2-week engagement. Was it a 2-week or 3-week engagement? I've got it in the notes here. A 2-week Las Vegas engagement. And they made $180,000 to be split between Elvis and the Colonel in 2 weeks. That's not bad, especially for 1975. I don't even make that now. Okay, here we go. Song of the Week was written by Fred Wise, Ben Weissman, and Dolores Fuller. The song was cut from the finished film, this film we've been discussing, Blue Hawaii. I'm sure you can guess what it is by now. And did not appear on the film's soundtrack either. Instead, it was used as track 5 on Elvis's Potluck album. It's Stepping Out of Line. And that is my favourite song from Blue Hawaii. Even though it wasn't in the film, and even though it wasn't on the soundtrack album, it was on Potluck. That was my choice. There you go. Elvis recorded 19 takes at Radio Recorders, Hollywood. Excuse me. On March the 22nd, 1961. Take 17 was used for release, but I'm going to link below, about 5 minutes after the end of this video, takes 4, 5, and 17, which were first released on the 1979 bootleg LP Plantation Rock, which is a bit strange because Plantation Rock was from Girls, 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 but Stepping Out of Line, as we know, would have been for Blue Hawaii. And you can just see, actually, you can hear from these outtakes that they had a little trouble getting the song down on tape. And it's quite an interesting little bit of tape, actually, that I'm going to link. Takes 4, 5, and 17. And as I say, take 17 was used for release. But the 4 and 5 is quite interesting as well. Now. I hope you're going to like this pick of the week. Elvis says you're stepping out of line in the movies. Yes, you can see in the movie where it would have fitted in. So, any luck with Bahiga? Dave, no. I've called that number quite a few times, left voicemails and things like that. And the person that takes the voicemail just doesn't return my call. Bahiga could be... Michelle says that she's drinking coffee too. Are you drinking out of an Elvis mug? Because it's actually illegal. It's against the law not to drink out of an Elvis mug when you're watching an Elvis live stream. I just made that up. Okay. So, yeah. I always drink coffee. I know I don't like tea. I don't like tea. Yeah, you can see where it would have fitted into the film when he says you're stepping out of line to Jenny Maxwell. I'm drinking coffee. Goodness me, we all seem to be drinking coffee. The only thing you've got to be careful, well, me, is drinking coffee too close to bedtime because it would definitely keep me awake. But strangely, my wife can drink coffee right up until she gets into the bed and it doesn't affect her sleep. So, lovely Elvis mug, Steve. Yes, I agree. Where do you come from Girls, Girls, Girls? Yeah, that's coming up. Girls, Girls, Girls will be coming up in a couple of weeks. Right, so here we go. This is my pick of the week, and as soon as I saw this, I thought this has to be it. It's from Blue Hawaii, and it's the part where I actually mentioned it earlier on when I was talking about Jenny Maxwell. I keep checking myself. Yes, it is Jenny. It just didn't sound right. Jenny Maxwell, who played Ellie Corbett. When she runs away and tries to drown herself, and then Elvis drags her out of the sea, what does he do? Yeah, he gives her a really good spanking. And that is my pick of the week. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you watch the film Blue Hawaii, there's a lap dissolve at the end of this scene. In other words, you know where one picture fades out and another one fades in. That's called a lap dissolve. And if you watch Elvis very closely, he starts bursting out laughing just at the very, very end of the scene. So it's quite a cute scene. And Maxine says, the spanking one. Yeah. So I just thought it was a nice shot. And it is one of my favorite parts of Blue Hawaii. Yeah, so that's my pick of the week. I do hope you've enjoyed this run through, and I really do believe that Blue Hawaii unfortunately did ruin Elvis's chances of being a straight actor, a serious actor. However, I still enjoy, I don't resent the fact that he made Blue Hawaii, and I still enjoy a lot of films that came after Blue Hawaii. There was just that little bit of a sticky period in the mid-60s. But as I said earlier on to Maxine, I believe, you know, or it might even have been Mark, the fact that it was Elvis on the screen, he could have been up there singing an address book or a telephone directory, and I still would have watched it. Elvis sings the telephone directory from A to K, and then his next movie from K to Z, you know. I would have watched it. But there's no denying that Blue Hawaii was the turning point in Elvis's movie career. And if you're watching this on replay, I would love to hear your comments in the comment section below. Please do leave those comments. And as I say, I do read them all, and I try and answer as many as I can. I can't believe we've reached the end of another live stream. So obviously we'll be doing the same sort of thing again on Sunday, same time, same place. I hope you can join me. You know, with the Fan of the Month quiz, This Day in Elvis History, Song of the Week, Pick of the Week. I'll try and do a cold shower photograph for you ladies on Sunday, and obviously another poll, because it'll be Follow That Dream next, I think, coming up, isn't it, after Blue Hawaii? And if you do want to support the channel, you can buy me a coffee by using the link below to keep me awake. Okay, so until Sunday, look after yourselves, and thanks again.